All right, let's go. Welcome to Watopian Weekly. Welcome to Watopian Weekly. Welcome. We're here to talk about Zwift Life and Beyond. We're here to talk about what's going on. So welcome to Watopian Weekly. Welcome! Watopian Weekly, Season 5, Episode 23. We're live, we're on video, we're recorded live, I guess. And anyway, this is a podcast for Zwifters, cyclists, and everyone else. Each week, we are here to discuss all things Zwift, life, and beyond. My name is Dustin, and with me is... fresh from getting his bike dirty and training with his friends. And getting some new pistons on his bikes, maybe. The man putting in the hours, putting in the miles, putting in the Ks. Here he is, James! I was trying to get Ks to ride with James in my head, but that just doesn't work.
Yeah,
James,
it sounds beautiful.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, you've got to work on that one, if that makes sense. Yeah, not too bad. I think you missed out putting in the pounds into kit he doesn't really want to spend money on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk about that too. Because there's nothing worse. I mean, I think it's worse when you get a call from your mechanic like about your car that yeah, you know what, we found out your Johnson rod's gone bad and you need a new one. It's going to be at least $3,000. You know that stinks. But you kind of expect that. But then when your bike mechanic calls.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But to be fair, there's always a chance of that. It was a bit of some of the kit that went in. There was always a risk that something might not be right. However, you hope it's an easy fix rather than a total replacement on potentially the most expensive part ever. You know, if they could make it out of titanium and diamonds, I think it still would have been cheaper. But we'll talk about it in a bit.
Yeah, we can.
Or maybe not. I might have started crying and sobbing. So, so we'll see if I'm okay to talk about it. Otherwise, it might have to be parked for a Discord chat.
Yeah, it might have to be. Sorry, man. I'm sorry to bring it up. Oh, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. He hasn't even cleaned his bike off yet because. He spent all last week altitude training and finishing his fine tuning. He even had to skip ZRL, so I had to ride. Because he was preparing all for this yesterday. A very wet and wild race. The Barry-Roubaix champion, Josh. Josh is back. How you doing, Josh?
I'm good. One of those two statements is true. Barry-Roubaix champion and have not washed my bike yet. I'll give you a hint which one it is. It's not the Paris-Roubaix champion, that's for sure. But I still haven't actually washed my bike yet.
That was
I prefer my drivetrain crunchy.
Oh man. I was gonna say I was gonna ask you if that was the only like clean part because of the wax.
No, decidedly not. Like I'm sure like all the dirt and mud and everything like that just stripped all the wax off anyway.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I was not the only one with squeaky brakes.
I bet. Because this race that you've been prepping for, and James and I were talking about this last week about using Zwift for. Little extra cheese on the fuzz pedal there. Sorry, man. All right. But we were talking about last week about using Zwift to prepare everything and to prepare for all these races. And that's exactly what you just did. And this is going to be incredible to hear about it. But I'm glad you survived. I bet you it looked like it was going to be a little touch and go just to even participate.
Yeah. I mean, at one point it looked like there were going to be thunderstorms, and I'm like, well, if that's in the forecast, I'm dipping out. But there was rain in the morning. Our buddy Randy, he had to deal with that in the 100-mile version of this. Fortunately, like the rain stopped by the time I started, so no rain. But I mean, everything's just been like so flooded and like soaking wet here that it's nice peanut butter. You know, it was slow going the entire time. Let's just put it that way. On the bright side, like there's no real pressure to like get like peak time finish, right? Because you just know it's going to be a disaster anyway. So you're there for a good time and there for fun. So at least that part was nice. Like no self-imposed pressure.
Your sponsors weren't upset about you?
No.
Wait, first off, did you win? That's what I think everybody wants to hear.
No, God no, absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about Barry-Roubaix, because that is on top of the minds of our listeners' hearts and minds here. So yesterday, Josh raced the Barry-Roubaix, which is the last week. James and I we just recorded right after Paris-Roubaix, which I still can't get over that finish. That was incredible, James. I mean, watching Wout do that. And Josh, did you at least catch the finish of that?
Yeah, I did. It was looked like a pretty crazy, right? Yeah, those cobbles are just absurd. It makes for some pretty interesting racing, because like all those guys just go full send.
Man, and the tire tech was pretty interesting, I thought. I mean, it kind of feels like tires won that race or didn't win that race. I don't know, maybe not, because there were a lot of flats, but I don't know. James, what do you think about that?
I think all the testing and stuff they did, it seemed to come across.
Yeah.
Of all the bits that I've watched afterwards, was they tested it all, but they hadn't tested it at the speeds they were hitting the cobbles at. But there seemed to be a lot of punches, and they seemed to be at critical times of the race. And it was made that sort of uncertainty, and it made it exciting from that side. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out for next year. I don't know if you saw any of the sort of discussion around Van der Poel and Philipsen and the bike swaps, and Philipsen was on prototype pedals. Well, I know we're going to talk potentially about pedals later.
Yeah, we are.
That Van der Poel couldn't clip into, and you're just thinking, that's why. In hindsight,
I'm thinking to myself, why can't he clip in there? You should all be on the same pedals in case this happens. That
was the thing, and there was different reasonings for it from what I saw. One of it was you wouldn't expect your second strongest rider to be the one handing his bike over, while the other rider, I can't remember who it was there flipping and swapping Van der Poel's wheel out so he could get his bike up and running again, and then he flatted a little bit further along down the road. So I think you've had a series of mechanicals and technicals that I think some of them could have been managed better by the team, but that pedal thing was just like they're sitting in hindsight thinking about that, going, that was a bad decision.
That will never happen again. Yeah.
But it was great. It made great telly. So I can't complain. They should do that more often. They should give them slightly ill-fitting bikes as well more often, because I think that'd be
they
more
should
fun.
run a mullet setup too.
Yeah. Everybody gets one Allen wrench, but it's not the kind that fits their bike, so they have to like share them and who's got a 6? I need a 6, and adjust their seat tube or whatever it is, Johnson rod. But but it was absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe it. A great race to watch. I've watched the finish a couple times just because it was just epic. And watching Wout deserved it for sure. I mean, he put in the time and everything. It's not like he did his fair amount of wheel sucking, but he definitely deserved that at the end. He outsprinted Pogačar, which is probably one of the best of our lifetime, I would guess. We've been all of us three, and a lot of people listening have been watching bike racing for a long time. I've been watching it since the 90s, and it's just I remember Greg LeMond, but I was still pretty smaller when he was doing everything, but I definitely remember a lot of the greats. And anyway, Pogačar is got to be. It's like the Messi Ronaldo thing almost. I mean, but who's Messi? I don't know if he's Messi or if he's Ronaldo. It depends on your point of view. But
I think the question the listeners and the viewers want to know, Dustin, would your 201 watts in that same scenario would be enough to dust Poggy like Wout did?
I'm wondering about that too. I mean, that's a lot of times I'm waiting on my call from
gotta throw
Visma, but
yes, if you throw some elbows in.
Oh man, there's no way. Pogacar has the core strength to just knock me off my bike with just with his abs, not even touching me. So even if I bumped him, he would be fine. The amount of handling that these guys have is just absolutely incredible. And that's another thing too about. I wonder about the people who succeeded on the cobbles if they were more if they have more of a background in mountain biking or cross or anything like that. If that helped at all, probably. I don't know. Because how the bike is going all around. I mean, anytime they watch
it looks
crazy.
highly uncomfortable. I'll be
yeah.
I think all the top riders, their bike handling skills are second to none, and you saw that with that when Pog was trying to get away on was it the penultimate cobble section, and
yes.
He lost the front end of the back end. At that point, if that had been me, I'd have been exiting stage right and ending up in a ditch because. Yeah. But he kept going. He sort of reset and kept going, and just like, I'd definitely need to change my bib shorts after that.
Yeah, that's a butt clencher if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and he wears white bibs. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. It's oh man. But getting back to Van der Poel real quickly, I know that I think his day would have been he would have been. That would have been a 3-up sprint, I think, at the end. I mean, if he hadn't had those issues, I mean.
No, I think Van der Poel would have ridden off into the distance. It'd have been about a minute up the road. Yeah. It's interesting. Some of the power numbers that have been quoted, and I think he's using his Shimano power meter, so you take that with a pinch of salt. For him, from where he was, the numbers are ridiculous. I'll have to dig them out and pop them into chat, but it was just unbelievable. Even Josh, I think, in a ZRL race would have to draft quite a lot of MVP to give himself a chance.
I don't know. Probably. Josh has been laying down the watts, and Josh is a perfect time to talk about Barry-Roubaix. So if you can give us a little bit about what, first off, did your week at altitude help? Before we get into everything, did your week at altitude help? And then you got to talk about the course, and then you got to talk about your kit and everything too. So
to lay the land of like what Barry-Roubaix is, it's like one of the biggest gravel races in the Midwest and arguably the U.S. Most well attended. So there's definitely like thousands of riders participating. Huge event. All in the small town of Hastings, Michigan, which has a population of like 9,000, something like that. So they have 16, 36 or 34, 62 and 100-mile events. I did the 62, which is actually 64 miles.
And 100 is 104, by the way.
Yeah, 100 is 104. So not actually the advertised distances, but it's about 45, just a touch less than 4,500 feet of elevation in the 62-mile event, and about 80% gravel. So conditions leading up to the race were like atrocious. So we've had torrential rain past 2 weeks. Just Google Michigan flooding. You'll understand why.
You'll see a picture of your
you'll see. Yeah, you'll see a lot of rivers going over the banks and questions about dam safety and things like that. But anyway, the course, we didn't really get a lot of rain day of. By the time I started, the rain stopped, which was nice. But yeah, all the gravel areas and stuff like that were pretty wet. Nothing like unsafe, fortunately. But yeah, it was just drivetrains caked in mud and a lot of crunchy drivetrains and a lot of like sounds that bike shops are sending their children to get braces. I'll say that. So.
Yeah. Did they have a spray station at all? Were you able to spray it off or anything? Or?
They did, but it was backed up like around a building. So I was like, I'm cold. I finished, packed up the bike and left immediately. Normally I would stay for like, they have food trucks there. They got all sorts of booths and things like that. I'm like, I felt like quitting at like mile 40 something, because the conditions are just like rough. Fortunately, I wasn't cold though. Like,
yeah,
I didn't feel cold, which was nice, but
and
it was hard to see. It was like constantly like wiping my glasses. And best move of the day, not biking at all, but I brought a towel with me to put on my driver's seat. Best move of the day.
Always
completely unrelated to cycling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't get the car super dirty.
I gotta give a shout out to our friend Randy, who also raced, and a fellow teammate and everything. And I think his quote that I saw of as I was scrolling through all the text and everything was about like I just sat in the Taco Bell parking lot and just ate tacos or whatever, or something like that, because he was so freezing and everything. Which I have definitely been there. That is crazy. Yeah. Like, or I haven't been to that part, but I mean I've been pushed that hard that
So
all I need is tacos.
So the race panned out pretty well. I mean, through mile 40, I had my average target watts exactly where I wanted them. So I was actually feeling pretty confident, and then just like hit a brick wall. Like my legs started cramping. My bladder pack, the like the hose connection or whatever, somehow like came loose, so it was like connected but barely, so it was like just a drip. So I would have liked to have more water first before I started going for my carb bottles, but yeah, so I just, stomach was hurting, legs were cramping. Like I stood up on one of the hills and my quad seized up, and I'm like, all right, guess we're sitting on hills going forward. But yeah, so I think I was averaging like 200 to 205 watts or something through mile 40, which is kind of where I wanted to be, and then finished like below 185 watts. So if that tells you, like, the last 20 miles were not great. Okay, basically just limping to the finish.
But man, you've been putting in these, and what was your time on that too? We should have tell everybody.
It's 4 hours and 11 minutes, which pace was around like just a touch below 15 miles an hour.
That's great, dude. Good work.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, like, again, I think we talked top of the episode, like, it was nice to like not go in. I would have liked to get below 3 hours and 45 minutes under ideal conditions, but yeah, with conditions being the way they are, like, it's nice to not have any self-imposed pressure about getting good times, because like, you're not going to get it. So there's no point in just drilling it to try to do that. So just enjoy the day.
And what did you I know you use your 3T, but what did you run for tires and everything like that?
I ran 40 millimeter Hutchinson carousel race, as I think he said, in 40 mil. Which was not the correct decision for these. So they're super fast tires, and on the pavement sections, man, I was like making up crazy amounts of time. But like steep muddy hills, because it's basically like smooth, like inside like tread pattern. I was still spinning out even sitting occasionally. So yeah, there probably would have been better tires to run there, but like I said, on pavement, just making up a lot of time, which was nice.
That's awesome.
They're really fast, like dry tire, and I actually thought, like, with there wasn't going to be a lot of rain, and the rain had like subsided, and there really wasn't much the day before, so I thought the gravel sections were going to be a lot drier than they were, and it was like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you change, bearing in mind the weather conditions, did you change any of your setup leading into it? I think there's a second part of that question. When you do eventually wash your bike in 2028, and you want to do it again, and if you had the same weather conditions, what would you do differently in your setup?
Yeah, honestly, like with you know, the conditions being the way they are, I would have like not cared about having the fastest tire available, because those Carousel race tires are like creme de la creme of fast, but
Yeah.
you know, I would have just like thrown on my very basic aluminum heavy 650B wheel set with Navi tires and like just just did a lot more full sending into like puddles and all sorts of stuff just for fun. But I did change a little bit of the setup, just like new unrelated to conditions, but I got like a new narrower bike seat on, which I think helped a lot, and just for comfort. But I did run a Redshift suspension stem, and I've always had that on there, and that's like super great for arm fatigue, because it definitely takes the chatter out of the like really wild sections. But I don't think I would have really changed much. If I was going for like a fast time, I would have kept the same tire setup and everything like that. So yeah.
Man. That's still incredible. Well, good job, dude. I mean,
yeah, fun times, but like 10 miles left. I'm just like, good God, like, is this like, I want to be done. And I was not having a fun time. Like from mile 50 onward, I was kind of checked out at that point. So
and did you feel like all those 3-hour zone 2 rides and everything that you've been doing on Zwift, did they help?
Yeah, I mean, I think they did, just because it, like, you know, gets more time on the bike for longer durations. So I do think those were helpful. I don't think any of the one ride I did at altitude did much, but
well, you were sleeping at altitude. That's
yeah,
sleeping at altitude.
Yeah. Yeah, drank a lot more water than typical when I was in Denver. So
yeah. And what did you wear for a kit, real quick? Did you knee warmers? You know, what
so
were you doing?
The other good decision was wearing the overshoes or whatever. Yeah, that was the correct decision. I threw those in the bag at the last minute, not thinking I would even need them, but then I saw everyone else wearing them. I'm like, I'm gonna follow the leader, and
yeah, exactly.
That was the right move. But just long pant bib shorts, or bib tights, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I like to wear like a Under Armour like heat thing as like the base layer, and then just the thermal long sleeve, and that was plenty, even though it was like 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, because it was cold. I mean, just checking out the weather conditions for you guys. That was
and the temperature dropped like almost 10 degrees, like from start to finish. So, but by that time you're like 3 hours into a race. It's really like 10 degrees doesn't really make much of a difference. So.
It makes 10 degrees difference. Yeah,
it does, but at least it's not like, below. Yeah, you're already warmed up at that time, so
and you're there, so you're not. Yeah, you're unless you D and Q.
It was,
or,
it was the correct amount of layers. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I'm burning up in here. Oh, I wish I had whatever. I did wear gloves, which was also the smart move.
Oh, yeah. For
sure. I tend to, even in cold weather, like to wear the fingerless gloves, and I would have not had a good time in those. So I'm glad I switched.
I think gloves are imperative, especially when you're off road or you gravel, because if you fall,
I did. It didn't see like so often in these you see like some minor crashes and things like that, or people tipping over, because there's sandy spots like that. That's not unusual, but I did see someone like, so this goes through like the forest roads that are like cars don't really go through them. It's for like your UTV and all-terrain vehicles and that kind of stuff. So I did see someone misjudge a line, slip in mud, and like fall into one of those like basically lakes.
Oh,
That
I'm
looked
sorry. I
that
don't mean to
that
laugh.
looked that looked like
Okay?
a bad time. I did ask, like, as I was going by, I'm like, "You okay?" They're like, "Yeah, I'm good, just wet." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you don't."
Yeah. You
Yeah,
sure?
you don't say.
Yeah,
That looked like a
exactly.
bad time.
Yeah.
But I did have a three chain drops,
Oh man.
which sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I think with these like crazy muddy conditions, I'm gonna like get one of those little chain guide
Yep.
things that would have helped, because
Yeah.
I think early on. So these all happened like before mile 30, like 5 miles apart. I'm just like, really, like
That's crazy.
again?
Yeah.
Three times it happened. So I was trying to like just drill it to get back into a faster group, and that probably didn't help matters later in the race. But yeah, good times.
Oh man. Well, speaking of getting dirty and everything, James, you have a big event coming up here, and I know you don't want your bike to get dirty. So, how are you managing that? And your outside training and everything, and inside training.
We had a catch up. So I'm riding the Fred Whitton Challenge with Tom from our ladder team. So we
Yeah.
met up first time yesterday. Just outside London, up in the Chilterns, which is a very picturesque part of the of England in the UK, and very hilly. So we had a course that was about 2/3 of the overall distance. It was 138 kilometers. So what's that? Nearly 86 miles.
That's a lot.
With I ended up doing weirdly 2,222 meters of elevation. So that's what,
Oh my
7,300
gosh.
feet.
Yeah, way more than Josh. Way more
Which
than
is
Josh.
Yeah, for real. Like, what am I doing complaining when
Yeah,
you've done
really.
that?
well, no,
Yeah.
to be
your
fair,
chain fell off. Oh.
I would argue that
Yeah.
the roads that you had were probably better condition than what we were riding on tarmac from that side. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours was actual roads though, right, James? Yeah, and it wasn't gravel.
Arguably.
Debate. They were supposed to be. Is probably the best way of putting that. So yeah, there was quite a lot of debris on some of the climbs. So that was interesting. And the Fred Whitton's it's about 180. Well, it's 180 kilometers. But what's that? It's about 106 miles. They've just changed the route this year, and it's about 3,100 meters of climbing. So it's about 2/3 of the distance, 2/3 of the climbing. And I did it on my Pinarello. And the challenge was climbing in the lowest gear for as long as possible. And every time we did a climb, the next one we started in the lowest gear a lot earlier, and then and even my flat bits, I started off in the lowest gear, and it's like, oh, this is starting to knock the stuffing out of me. And
did you do the whole like click 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 trying to find a easier gear and like just be like, come on, I need easier gear?
It's when you run out of gears and you keep pressing it in the forlorn hope it's going to make it sort of simpler from that side. So and I've been doing quite a bit of climbing and climbing outdoors. We tried to go up a mountain a couple of weeks ago in Cyprus. So the elevation and distance it wasn't a problem, but we had a couple of climbs that sort of went up to 25-26%, not for very long, but enough that all of a sudden you're like, whoa. And I think the biggest thing I had around the challenge of it is trying to get my weight on my bike right, so I wasn't losing traction. I had a couple of wheel spins because I lifted too far forward. And I think at the most steepest section on one of the climbs, I pretty much wheelied it up there because I lifted the front wheel up far too much. So it was a case of just remembering that road handling. It goes back to that conversation we were talking about Paris-Roubaix and the bike skills. It was, I can do it, and you don't replicate it anywhere near on Zwift. It's sort of start zigzagging and going up from there. But I'm probably not going to use that bike for Fred Whitton. I'm probably going to use my gravel bike because I have a better gear ratio on it, if that makes sense, and it gives me a bit more wiggle room on it. It was one of the conversations that we were having. But Tom, fair play to him. I can't fault it. He shot up the climb, so I was with him, and then all of a sudden I wasn't, and he was miles ahead of me. So I tried to get my own back on the flats by absolutely drilling it, which for the event will definitely not be doing, because why would anyone in their right mind burn all their matches on the flats when they've just got 3,000 meters of climbing to do? But it was good fun and it was enjoyable. But I think it really hit home how difficult that event, that Sportive, is going to be. It's one of the reasons it's called the UK's hardest Sportive, and I think I glossed over that in a nice way. So I watched a couple of the videos last night of people doing it, and it gave me nightmares, and I didn't sleep very well. So we're sort of in that panic of sort of, with 20 days to go, is what meaningful training can I now try and fit in to, I don't know what it is, comfort blanket, or just give me a bit more assurance and confidence in it. I don't know. So I'd be really interested what the viewers and the listeners, especially our Vietnamese contingents, can come up with on how I can stop myself from freaking out completely. But it was good, but it was hard. So I think that the challenge that I've also got is I hadn't really prepped out my nutrition for that particular training ride. So it was very clear afterwards that got to get that right, because we'll get to a point in the race, potentially 2/3 through, and then all of a sudden the wheels are going to come off pretty abruptly, and that's going to be too late. So I took lots of food with me. I just didn't eat it.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you not pack enough? But
no, I had enough for sort of around sort of 30 to 40 carbs an hour, because I haven't been sort of training. I don't training in the nutrition side. I don't want to go any higher than that, because I think I'm just going to end up making myself sick, if that makes sense, or worse than that side.
Stomach will hurt, and
But I have that problem where I don't want to drink and I don't want to eat, and that becomes really problematic. And I just didn't put food into my mouth at the right times, and it was definitely noticeable in the last sort of like hour of riding. And that was something really good to take away, saying you've got to force yourself on certain points of the ride to eat something, whether you like it or not.
I have my my Garmin set to auto remind me to eat and drink, because that if I don't, I won't do it. And there's a way to do it where you can set a timer, every 10 minutes or something like that, which I think the pros do. You always see them eating, if they're not, if they're eating all the time. And I know we're not pros, but we're close, I mean, 205 watts, come on, and
sponsors are clamoring.
Yeah, I know they are. But I've got a day job already. But that whole having the automatic thing, I don't know how it tells, like if it's something with Garmin and like your heart rate and elevation or something like that. But either way, that does help, man. Can you set that on your computer at all, James?
Yeah, I just ignored it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna dismiss this notification.
And there's a couple of times that it just popped up at the most inconvenient, like
of course,
when it hit a 20% elevation, like why didn't you have a tweet? No, because I can't take my hands off the handlebars, and I'm only looking directly at the road in front of me, wondering why I haven't chosen a flat Sportive to go and ride around.
Can you switch wheels, or just get a new? I'm sure you probably can't get a new cassette. I can just switch the wheels. I've got all the cassette. I took the wheels that I put onto the Pinarello off this bike, so I'll just put them back on. We'll have a play. It's currently with the mechanic, earning them a holiday. It feels like a very expensive Caribbean holiday. So we'll get that back next week, and I've got enough time to go and do a couple of rides. And go to to Leaf Hill and up around the Surrey Hills, and give it a bit more of a run through and make a decision on that. But there's what were the stats that came out? The difference in the gear ratio was pretty worryingly high, if that makes sense. So 20%, man, that's incredible though. But that's what you're going up, right? 20%. And
the worst one is what is it? Hang on, let me pull it up. It keeps reminding me, saying, "Oh yeah, but you've got to do this." The climb guide that I've got from there. So hard not pass. Peaks at 33% at one point.
Oh my gosh, I've done that on Zwift, and it's incredibly hard. I can't imagine doing it
No, I can't.
person.
And we'll see how we get on with that. But so I was looking at it. So the ratio at the lowest gear. So my Canyon Grail runs 42 on the front and goes up to 44 on the back. So it gives me a gear ratio of 0.19. My Pinarello's 36 is the lowest cog on the front, 34 on the back, and it's 1.06 gear ratio. So when they do the sums based on the tire choice that it got on it, it was saying it's I've got 17% easier gearing on the Grail, and being I wouldn't say the lightest rider in the world, 17% makes it simple. It might not look as cool, so that's the only downside. But I think there's nothing cool about traipsing up a hill in your cleats, because it's not very comfortable and not much fun. So if I can minimize the amount of time that I do that, that'll be a bonus.
Oh man. That is a hard decision, because and the people who you live with who saw that you just got a new bike might say, why aren't you riding your new bike? I've heard that before, and because I think it doesn't work really that well. I
think it goes back to your earlier point. I don't want to get it dirty.
Yeah.
And we've got
it's my best wall ornament.
We've got the Lincoln York Sportive, which Colin's coming over from Texas for, and I'm saving it for that. We're just going to put slightly more aero wheels on, and then I'm just going to absolutely smash it all the way there and down and back again, because I can shift on the flats. That was definitely a good sign yesterday.
Oh man,
what's the chainring cassette setup that you're going to run for this?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have a look. It's a 52, 36, I think, semi-compact on it, Ultegra setup. So I might just leave that on it, or I might have a little bit of a play. However, I haven't had the final build.
10-tooth chainring.
Yeah, something like, or sort of 62 from the front, and try and file off a few and have like 8 on the back.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
I
100-tooth chainring.
Are you customer of the month, by the way, at your bike shop? Is that what's happening here?
Well, it's a blank canvas at the moment still, Dustin. So
like this man allowed my kids to get braces and
James,
private school education.
If your bike mechanic yells your name when you come in, then
it's VIP boost for you.
Yeah. I think the problem is you get to a point where you're committed, and it's a case of I want to get it back up and running, because bizarrely the bike that I've got the problems with is the Cannondale hybrid I was rebuilding, and it's the shifters that have failed, so I've had to get a new set of shifters for it, and the SRAM SRAM axis one, so because they're the electronic, they're just ridiculously expensive, and they're not really that well discounted either, which is a bit of a pain. So it's just one of the things. If there's one piece that could go wrong, you're just like, be anything else but that, and it wasn't. So there was a trade-off where I did think about, do I just write it off and then sell the parts? And I was like, oh, no, I want to use it, and I'm all in now. So
it's tough.
And unfortunately, I think the mechanic now knows that. So we're having all titanium pieces, I think, and bolts on it and everything like that going in. So we'll see. I'll let you know what the final bill is.
Yeah,
maybe.
Please.
A pound or two, maybe.
Yeah. Oh man, that's gonna be awesome though. It's gonna be a sweet ride though, commuting on that thing. Oh,
it better be, Dustin.
Yeah, you better buy a big bike lock for that. The best you can.
Well, it does mean I'm commuting every day in the summer in the office because I can't afford to go on the train. So
I've been thinking about that too. I've been actually plotting different routes on my way to work. My job is only 18 miles away from here, but it's like up a super big hill, and so either way I have to go up a hill any way I get there. So I gotta figure that out. But I've been thinking the same thing this summer when I go in. I've been thinking about that too. But
next series of
working by myself.
Next series of ZRL in September, I'm going to be ACAP.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be awesome. That's awesome.
And
not A plus, huh?
No.
Really setting your dreams and aspirations low. I see.
I'd be half the weight. ACAP magnifies the size of elephant tree trunks almost from that side.
That's
go
right.
from there.
All new pants. He's got to buy all new pants or trousers. Excuse me. Maybe pants. Sorry, I forget the pants trousers thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Parachute pants.
To be fair, probably need all new pants as well.
Yeah.
Which we do need to talk about some of that stuff too about kit and everything too, about the amount of kit. James was talking about that. I didn't count mine yet, but we had a conversation about that too, about kit, which
I think there's an opportunity. Maybe next podcast, because I've got to do I sort out my kit for the event, what I'm going to take. So I was really interested to see what Josh was saying about what he took and what he didn't take. Maybe we'll do a live. You can have a sweepstake and then we can count them, and I'll pick them up and show you which one's what. So it's more than 2 would be my to pre-warn you from that side.
So Josh,
you'll auction these off for charity, because people are going to be wanting to bid on these.
Do you know
millions of dollars?
Yeah.
Worryingly, Josh, there are at least 2 pairs that have still got the labels on that have not been used. They are brand new, so I can tell you that.
The amount of bib shorts, like I was watching, I can't even remember what the video was, but it was something about how, and I don't know if you've ever been in the situation, but when you're ready to go, you've got your bib shorts on, you got everything else on, but you can't find, the matching top or whatever, the matching jersey or whatever. I've been there, and I've got it all sorted now where everything is.
You definitely go slower if.
You
right. Definitely go slower in those.
If you're not matched up, come on, you gotta be matched up, right?
Yeah.
So, I try and get everything together, but the amount I have an entire drawer of my dresser that is dedicated to bib shorts and jerseys and everything. Some of those need to be, I don't know, disposed of biohazard style. I don't know, because they've been around for a while, but we definitely should count. We should have a sweepstakes for something like that. I don't know what we can give away. Probably nothing. Someone can get one of our used bib shorts. Oh my god.
We could have, if Josh hasn't washed his
gross.
from the Barry-Roubaix.
Yeah, there we go.
You can just have some of them.
Yeah, that's how we. I
so
could
gross.
quit my job now. So
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see what is deemed an okay number and what is either not enough or deemed too excessive, and see where I fit on that spectrum, if that makes sense.
But it's also hard because I have indoor shorts and outdoor shorts, for example, because there's some of the stuff. It's better outside, I guess. I don't know. It needs to be more aerodynamic. Inside aerodynamics don't matter as much. But I will say that we still need to market the Watopian Weekly socks that are aerodynamic, but only in a circle, so that they're your feet go faster. I think that's you've heard it here first. That's probably $150 idea, I think.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Well, man, you guys have been so busy. This is awesome, and I've been pretty busy too myself, but not like you guys. I've been Coach Cat is probably not upset. Is not super happy with me. I've had to push off things. I injured my hamstring when I was mountain biking last weekend, and I still haven't really fully recovered from that. So I've been just taking it easy. I did do a ladder race or I did ZRL on Tuesday, which I was super happy about. Didn't finish like super high and get a bunch of segment points, but I finished at like 27th or something like that, which isn't bad in the B development. I felt pretty happy about that, but I didn't get any like FAL or FTS points like the rest of our team did. So
you didn't go for FAL like 2 miles out.
I did go for no, but there were Josh, it's funny that you say that because someone on our team, I think Tim said, "Oh, this guy's pulling a Josh right now. Who's this guy going?" He went out like 2K before the banner.
I'll never let that down.
No, I don't think you ever will. And that was we all were just dying laughing, like those that could breathe. And
how was the 6 laps, Dustin?
6 laps was, I've been doing a lot of training, and I was okay with it. it was awful. Fourth, I mentioned on the fourth lap, I mentioned to Tim, who's on our team, who is also a C and racing in the development. I said, Tim, we should quit right now because we're C's and we could be done right now. And when I looked at the times, I did a little Strava stalking, James, and you were, I think, 3 minutes faster than us at that point. So you were cooking, man. Good job.
Yeah, and I was dead. There was no more. Once we crossed the line, I got off the bike because I think that I didn't like the course for a points race, and the reason for that
tough.
was that it was. We were talking about it. It just seemed a really intensive over and under session. However, the over session was the climb, the points at that, the downhill, and then the sprint, and then you had about what felt like a 30-second, a little bit of time, and then you're back on it again. And I never recovered and was just slowly degrading. So the second lap, I tried to do a Josh. I thought on the descent, I'm going to go big. I'm going to make sure that I don't have to sprint the sprint segment. I can roll over, be first, be happy days. Got towards the end of the bottom of the hill and then got swamped by everyone. And I was like, well, I'm cooked. So I ended up finishing about 15th on the sprint and had to go harder than probably I would have done if I'd have just sat in the pack and then sprinted through. And it just felt a bit groupy. It didn't. It was hard. It was one of the hardest Zwift races I've ever done. It just never seemed to get any recovery. There was any downside. So I wasn't a fan, if that makes sense. I still finished fifth, but I wasn't a fan. We went into the final sprint. I was like, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. Give me 200 watts, and that's about it.
Well, that's awesome though that you finished fifth. I mean, we were doing. I was listening to everybody getting all these FAL points and FTS points, and I was so happy for them. And I was just steady in the back, and I just kept picking people off, and I ended up, I was like 36th, I think, my first time through, and I kept on getting that number down and down and down and down. My first time through the Jarvis KOM, that is, and then I ended up finishing like 17th or 18th. At the end, so I was happy about that, but I was also trying to pull a Josh on the way down from I caught up to Smashley, and I was like, let's go, Smashley, let's go. And so I'm just like laying down the watts. Little did I know the entire
204 watts.
204 watts.
Big dog
like
over
35
here.
seconds. Yep. And then everyone passed me. And come on. Like I thought for sure I am, I'm bringing her to glory. It didn't work. So
it's very demoralizing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But it's, I think if people don't try it, then it just becomes samey, and it occasionally it works.
Yeah.
So just when it does work, if it has, bask in the glory of that. But when it doesn't, I do remember on the team time racing in the Dirt Racing League, getting caught in the last kilometre and then being spat out the back. It's just like, yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Yeah, that was a stupid idea. Why did I do that?
But you got to animate the race. I mean, right? I mean, you're 100% exactly right. I mean, that is just like when it's boring, man, I don't know. Anyway, everyone's just riding around. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, good for us for animating the race and getting people like, hey, what the heck is this guy doing? Who does he think he is? Right? All that.
Who do you think you are?
It
is fun. It is fun though.
Yeah, it is. And so speaking of ZRL, we only have 2 rounds or 2 races left. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to do a what's called a playoff or not. I haven't heard yet. I don't know if that's been published or not. But we do have that is coming. I'm sure we'll hear about it. But this I almost prefer that if they would just sort out the just the standings on their own or something like that, because last year, remember, it was about this time is when we had playoffs and like everybody was already outside and hardly any. I mean, it's getting harder. And harder
even now, like a lot of people are outside. This is where we like collapse ladder teams and there's just a lot less Zwift activity.
Yeah. but I do have to say that when I'm at work all day dealing with everything that I have to deal with, and then I'm like, you know what, my happy place. I'm thinking of my happy place, and my happy place almost is always Watopia. You know, I'm out. You know, I'm thinking about that, and just like being in my basement, the smells down here and everything, and just you know, getting on my bike. I love it so much. It's so much fun, and that's why I like Zwift so much. But anyway, it's I don't want to wax poetic here because I'm not a poet. But anyway, we've got Le Croissant coming up here this week, and this is a scratch race. I'm hoping that maybe I can find it because I'm off this week, so because we got a full team. Unless somebody drops out, I'll jump in. But I'm hoping I can maybe get onto a C team instead, because I think I can help. Because right now, I don't think that B development team, man, they're so fast. So, Josh, you're gonna enjoy it this week. But
yeah, this is the course of my preference, because it's mostly flat, a few punches, and an uphill punchy finish. Like I'm primed and ready to go for.
Yes,
I'm shooting for podium on this one.
Yeah,
and then,
let's go.
You
heard it here. You heard
and
it
then,
here.
Yeah, we'll do next week's episode, and I'll tell you how I failed spectacularly. But I'll choose from the jar of excuses later.
Well, this one's got glorious breakaway failure written all over it.
Oh yeah.
So I'll get mine out there now. So we'll go over the DRS AGAIN sprint second time.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a go and see if I can hold on for a lap, and then die horribly, probably on the same sprint. Coming up to the finish line will be the plan. But Dustin, if you are looking for someone to race for, we are short in distortion. If you want to come and race Amaya, you're more than welcome to.
And what time is that for you? What time? I'll just do the math.
6:30 in the evening.
Okay, so that's only 6 a.m. for me. That's not so bad. I can maybe make that work. I'll have to figure it out. That would be awesome.
I'll send you the details. But yeah, we're short. We've got a rider who got DQ'd last week, who was over the cat thresholds but hasn't catted up. It's a very surreal circumstances.
Yeah,
basically he's like 4 kilos. He's a skinny little lovely guy, but yeah, he's sort of stuck in a bit of no man's land. So I need to get him. I haven't done my admin basically, so I need to get him pushed up to hopefully the B Development League in the EMEA region. So that, and one of my other riders is getting his hair done. He's decided that it's more sensible not to participate in a scratch race where he's going to get absolutely burnt out the back. And similar thing, I just think people are outdoors. There's not as many people participating from our teams in ZRL for this round, but this one has got blaze of glory, crash and burn all over it. And
it's either that or it's going to be honestly super boring until the finish. Because like scratch races on pancake flat courses, or mostly flat courses, like have everyone stay in a bunch the entire time and then just wait for the sprint. Like I feel like more than half of the races are going to play out that way. Unless you're James, who's like, I ain't waiting. I ain't waiting.
To be fair, there's 2 riders whose sprint finishes I ain't going to live with if they're racing. So we're going to go and try and play the 20-minute power number and just see if I can TT away and die a horrible death somewhere around the course. No doubt when it implodes, you'll hear the noise when I go and it all explodes up in the air.
So
and the wheels fall off.
If I do my math right, I think I'd only have to miss about an hour of work. James, I'm going to see if I can swing this.
Yeah, okay.
That would be awesome, because I think I can make it work. I've got to. Yeah. All right, we're going to talk. All right, cool. That would be awesome. Yeah. All right. So then, so for that one, and it's only 3 laps. It's only like 20 miles, so it's not so bad. For B, we've got. Oh man, 4 laps, which is 25. But like Josh, like you're saying though, that punch, the Dustin. How do you say that, James? Is that how you say it? Dustin?
I just call it the Dustian or whatever it is. So
yes,
my
yeah.
And it's a 2-stager, the Dose Diane, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
because you have to go up in that corner, and it's longer than you think. It's way longer than you think. I feel like anyway. Every time we've done it in ladder, and like every time I've tried to like break away on it, it's like oh man, it's just I don't know. Just seems like it's longer than you think.
You got the front climb. You've got the slight descent down, which I was quoted of, is a 100-meter dessert trolley will pass you only to be snatched away. And then you go into the second climb, and that's where the quote that I was given was, where the person who went too hard, me, gets dropped, stares at the power numbers, and then blames their trainer calibration when everyone goes past them. So that's pretty much it from there. But it's 750 meters, and everyone's going to go at the wrong time, and it's just you need to decide where you want to go, if that makes sense.
Right.
Where you're prepared to, how far you're prepared to give somebody a gap, knowing that hopefully they're going to blow up.
Hopefully they blow up. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty competitive field, though. Your field is really competitive. So this will be interesting. All right, we're gonna talk, and hopefully I can make that work, because that would be really, 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 really fun. Oh man. So then after that, it's a points race on the race 4 on the 28th, which is the double span spin, which is our really hard to say, but that's New York. We've been on that one quite a bit, it seems like, ever since it came out. But 3 laps for C, 5 laps for B and A. Boy, that was that's a significant difference, though, for B versus A. It's like 10 more miles. I mean, I know it's 2 more laps, but still. That one's going to be interesting, too. And that one I can't make, Josh, so you're on your own for that one. You're going to have to.
I like it, though. Again, like Brooklyn,
profile.
Brooklyn KOM is punchy. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So yeah, won't need to deal with crunchy drivetrain inside. So
oh man. Yeah.
Well, we could replicate your Barry-Roubaix experience by coming in with a bucket of dirty, muddy water and just throwing at you every now and again, and chucking sand into your drivetrain.
Nothing like real world training.
Yeah.
Oh man. And that that is rough when we do get to that. When you're getting all that stuff sprayed in your face and everything. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know what? You know what's funny too? Like you can't see it, but like I chipped a piece of my tooth too.
Oh no.
Like front tooth, like it's barely noticeable, but you know.
Yeah, you can.
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Which I assume came from like someone's like tire kicking up a pebble or something. So. Yeah,
wow.
I got battle wounds.
Look, happy to come over and replicate that experience and throw stuff at you while you're on the trainer.
Yeah.
Oh man,
this feels like a dunk tank, like trying to.
Yeah, we got to build you up, Josh. Come on, we're like, we're bringing you down, talking about your famous infamous victory of not winning that sprint. But oh man, well, sorry about your tooth, dude. I'm sorry about that. That stinks. Yeah. Glad you're okay,
like you can't even like really notice it. So
yeah. I've had that happen, and you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. But, yeah, and maybe you can replace it with the diamond. Yeah.
Diamond teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, to match your diamond legs. So So and now talking about diamond legs of Josh right here, we've got DRS is back. All right, and last season went to 11. So in honor of, I was trying to think of, if anybody follows Spinal Tap, which is what they're talking about, going to 11. This like one of, so we just said DRS is back again. Or it's all they always Spinal Tap always has like the end continues, or it's just time to begin again. They have songs like that. It's awesome. So anyway, if you haven't checked out Spinal Tap, you definitely should. So DRS is back. We don't know what the courses are yet. We'll find out. We'll find out soon. But we have the coolest thing is that what you have to do is just go into your DRS account, and there's a little box at the bottom that says click that says I want to be on this race. So just do that. And then you're ready.
Yeah.
Talk to your team.
Doesn't matter what the courses are. Join anyway.
So it says 5 Tuesdays starting May 5th. So that means it's going to go into June. I'm guessing the first Tuesday in June, which which should be fine, I think. So, but registration closes on April 31st. So get it in. We got about another week from when we're recording this to get it in there, which I think that's doable. It's going to be fun. I love the DRS. I think we all do, and it always seems like it never disappoints. I don't know. It's always good racing. Yeah. And James, I know we wanted to talk about FRR Triquetra is coming up. Am I saying that right? I always get that wrong.
That's as good as what I was going to pronounce it, so you're all right there.
Yeah,
that starts Saturday, 25th of April. Starts off in New York. There are 21 stages. It's over 1,000 kilometers of racing with 12,300 meters of climbing. Now, Rich has put those numbers together, so add 10% as a minimum on top of that. So lots of racing going on there. It's the biggie. It is really good. If you can do any or some of the stages, then do it. I can't do them all because they clash with some of my outdoor activities, but where I can, I'll jump into. I think if I can, I'd love to get onto stage 20, which is the 7 Horsemen Queen stage, 101 kilometers, 2,300 meters of climbing. In fact, it's absolute peanuts compared to Fred Whitton. It'll be a walk in the park. I'll do it in my sleep and finish first. So, but yeah, that kicks off. So people want to sign up, get over to FlamRougeRacing.com and you can get the details. Again, they're running multiple race times throughout the day. But yeah, I'll try and dip into a few of them. Can't do it all, unfortunately, this time around. But yeah, some pretty epic racing going on with that.
Man, 7 Horsemen. I mean I remember the 5 Horsemen. That one was ridiculous, and now 7.
You still have nightmares.
Yeah, that was really tough, man.
You got Zwift KOM, Epic KOM, up to the Radio Tower, Alp in there as well, plus others, just to really sort of get your legs pounding.
Yeah, it's just classic, man. It's just classic stuff, though. It's so much fun. Oh, I love it. Love Watopia. It's awesome. So we got a lot going on here, man. It seems like there's it's funny that we're, a lot of people were going outside and everything, but this is the, time things are heating up. And speaking of heating up, it often gets hot outside. So, keep riding, that's how it goes. But I ride all summer. I mean, it's just,
speaking of outside, what pedals you using?
Oh yeah. So, I'm not on any type of, prototype pedals. Like others. I've been wanting to save some money for those wolf tooth pedals. I know
the fancy purple ones that are like $250 or whatever they are.
Yes. But I'm kind of torn here because I already have pedals. I'm also saving money for wheels, but I already have wheels. It's like one of those things like, do you need more wheels? Yes. But do you need new pedals? Probably. But that's one thing that pedals do kind of, they need to be either rebuilt or, I guess, with SPD pedals, that entry is metal against metal. I wonder if that degrades over time. I don't know.
Perhaps,
but it might.
Do you see Wolftooth has the MK0 now, which is like even more expensive? It's like $365. Which is crazy.
Let's go. That's awesome. Yes,
yeah,
that's the one I want.
Yeah. So like I think the original DEL or Dell or however you say it, like those were like $220, and then they just came out with MK0, which are $365. Like that's diabolical pricing. But like
I know, but
I mean they are cool, but yeah, that's steep.
And then let's talk about one-sided versus double-sided. So, like, I've got when Josh and I rode in Michigan last year, I had my wrong pedals on my bike.
Homie he's like James.
My road pedals.
Dustin was like, he's rolling road pedals and cleats through like sand and stuff like that. I'm like, well, at least you have a nice base, like a wide pedal base.
Wide pedal base. Yes. Which did help.
Yeah, so it's like good for you, but not what I would have chosen.
Yeah, you're fine until you have to clip out.
Yes,
and then if you have to do any sort of level of walking, it's problematic because obviously the one benefit about the mountain bike and the SPD pedals is they're recessed and you can have a decent shoe around it. Right. But the problem is if you don't have that and you're walking around, you're then damaging the cleat, which then makes it more difficult, and it gets covered in gunk and mud and all sorts of other rubbish, and you can't clip it back in. So I think some of this conversation came about what's the best pedal for Zwifting, and there was a lot of talk of people using the Shimano SPD one indoors, and for me, just that, as you touched on, the wide platform feels that it gives a better power transfer through. And to be fair,
Yeah.
probably is marginal, but I would, I have, I've got lots of different pedals, which we'll see a trend when it comes to kit and stuff like that. So I've got
Got
Shimano,
options.
Shimano SPD SLs on my bike, or I've got some Asamoah duals as well. So the only problem is I'm having to change between Look cleats and Shimano cleats, which is just irritating. And then I do have the SPDs on my gravel bike, and we do stuff outside there, and double-sided, mainly because they're just so much easier to clip in, and I'll use them for commuting as well, just because it's better than a flat pedal. But it was interesting. I definitely always, for Zwifting and sprinting, be wanting a more wider pedal base. I'd be looking at a road setup on that side.
Yeah,
SPD SL is my choice. SPD SL is my choice for indoors.
Yeah,
so the road.
I think I have the cheapest ones, whatever the cheapest.
Yeah,
Shimano
nothing.
Ones
I mean, nothing
indoors.
Fancy. It's indoors. Like I don't
care
about having. I don't care about having like Ultegra or whatever. Like for indoors, I just want something.
Unless it's going to add 5 watts to your power output, it doesn't matter, does it? Really?
Yeah, it spins my legs for me. So
yeah. Exactly. And with those patented indoor aero socks, I mean, that would be off the charts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely.
And James throwing water at you.
Oh yeah, we just pour sand into your shoes as well and stuff like that. But I think it depends, because also both of you are very very lucky in a way that you've got more than one bike and different disciplines of how you do it. I think if you've got one bike on your trainer, you roll with what you got, and it's not too much of a problem. But if you do have the ability or luxury to sort of choose different pedal systems, then definitely the road setup on Zwift feels like it makes the right sense.
I definitely agree with that.
And I try and match. I have my like you said, I'm lucky enough to have another bike on there. So with the kicker bike, I have that set up exactly as my my outside bike, so it's not too different, but it's still a little different. I feel
it's funny. I like set mine up exactly like my gravel bike, which is race geometry and like very compact. I could not do that inside. Like it was so uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, this is abysmal.
Like, for all the hours. And
I just
guess, right?
Not moving, not whatever. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. But like outdoors, it feels. I mean, honestly, that bike is more comfortable than some of my endurance geometry focus bikes that are supposed to be more comfortable. Like feels great outdoor, but indoors, not the play.
This is why you need to get a Trek de Mane, man. I'm telling you, I'm on my.
Awesome. I mean that would be my next road bike. Yeah. But I have not even used the road bike at all yet this season. So,
sounds like a good reason to get another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Put that one on
same reason like crunchy drivetrain. Like, don't swap the drivetrain parts out. Just throw the bike away and get a new one.
Don't even throw the bike away. Just get a new one.
Just get a new one.
You might need that one someday.
I need a good wall ornament.
Yeah, and what if I come out and ride? Right? We all ride about the same size. I think 54, 56. Aren't we all 56?
I'm like 52, 54.
Oh, really? What? Are you sure?
Oh, get you on my bike. Most of them are 58s. That'll really screw you, Dustin.
Anything longer than like 54 top tube is like, I'm reaching for the stars then. I got small little dino arms, man.
I'm on a 56, so
I got little T-Rex arms.
Well, you guys start looking for 56s used somewhere around there, so you can buy that bike with good conscience that I will come and visit and ride it.
All right, I'll find the closest tricycle that matches that description.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and I'm definitely. I was gonna say that. I'm recovering today because yesterday I got to go to the Mall of America. We forgot to talk about this, so I know James probably doesn't know about the Mall of America, but people listening in America probably do. And the Mall of America is a giant mall. It is the Mall of America. It was established in 1992 is when it was made. And the coolest thing about this is it has a roller coaster inside. So, yeah, there you go. And it's got a bunch of other rides and stuff too. But it's a giant mall. So, well, James, in the 90s and 80s and 90s, did you guys have malls that you went to all the time?
I lived in a sleepy old Victorian town in Norfolk. So no, the concept of a mall was, we had a corner shop. Does that count, Dustin?
So it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Like with probably about maybe 300 of them. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a picture of it with the roller coaster going through the middle of the shopping center. That's pretty surreal. It looks like a giant greenhouse.
Yeah, and there's a what's called Legoland there. I know you like Legoland. It's pretty cool. Pretty much any kind of food that you can possibly imagine, and any kind of store that you can possibly imagine. So, like here in America in the 80s and 90s, if you needed something, you went to the mall. I mean, there were songs about it and everything like that. But like lately after the 2000s and stuff like that, it started maybe 2020s is kind of when it started to degrade. And pretty much there's lots of malls that are completely empty. Like the one in my town where I live is essentially empty. There's a couple stores in there, but you could throw a bowling ball down there and you wouldn't hit anybody. But Mall of America, different story. Oh my gosh. And speaking of stories, they've got like 4 parking garages, I think, and they're all like 7 stories tall. They're incredible. Easy to get lost. Definitely easy to forget where you park and everything like that. Josh, have you been to the Mall of America?
No, but as an American seeking peak American consumerism, that's the place to be.
Well, it's incredible. We walked around that. I got 10,000 steps in yesterday, and it was absolutely incredible. There were so many stores that I'm like, oh, they have one of those here.
It's funny. It's funny how like 10,000 steps makes my feet hurt more than doing like 50 miles on a bike.
Yeah, it's 7.5 miles.
Yeah, I don't like getting a lot of steps. This is why I quit running. Respect all you triathletes out there. Running is not the play.
Yeah, me neither.
That's quite a good segue because I was going to do a shout out to Nick B, who's the captain of Nazirium, the ladder team that I race for. He completed the Manchester Marathon this morning in a time of 3 hours 42 minutes 58 seconds.
Dang, he's
he's quick.
Okay,
and he's racing ladder tomorrow. So whoever they're racing against, just repeatedly attack him because his legs must be shot. But yeah, congratulations! That's a super time.
Yeah,
well done, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah, just blitzed it.
Yeah, well, that's the most I've walked in a long time, I think. So, yeah, definitely. But, anyway, it was cool. I just thought I'd mention that for those who are listening here, because also the other thing I want to say is that we went to the Minnesota Orchestra because I live in Minnesota, and it was incredible, great concert. So we were up there, and that's when we went to the mall as well. But the coolest thing is that we got to walk in the Skyway. So Minnesota gets cold. So instead of having to go outside and walk on the streets, they have these skyways that are these elevated, glass boxes.
Yeah, they're very cool.
To every building. It's amazing. You don't have to go outside at all. And it reminds me of back in the early 2000s, they used to have a mountain bike race in there. And I always wanted to do it because, I just would love to just like unleash it and just going through there. Oh my gosh, it would be incredible. So that's the only reason I wanted to bring it up because I don't know. We'll have to find some of those clips, but that would be awesome. I can't imagine doing that. I think it's like a TT, like one person at a time going because you got to go through doors, so you got to really get small and go through the doorways. But I don't. That's before wide bars, so. Probably 400. I think 400 mil, 460s maybe for wide bars because right now I think my mountain bike, it's like 700 or something like that. And every time I go to the bike shop with my old bike, like with my Ritchie with its regular 460s or whatever they are on there, all the young kids are like, man, those bars are so narrow. And like, that's nothing to what we had in the 90s. I mean, 90s, like we're talking like maybe 40 or 50 centimeters wide, like, or well, that doesn't, well. Well, anyway, they were really, really short, you know, but yeah, anyway. Well, so, gentlemen, yes, we shout out to Vietnam, to everyone in Vietnam for listening, because we looked at some, so thank you for everybody who's listening in Vietnam. We're not really sure who or why, but people from Vietnam, send us some information. What are some things that you'd like us to be doing or talking about, because that'd be really cool. So hey, we see you. All right. And thank you to everyone listening this week and every week. Please be sure to check our Discord server, send us an email. Someone on staff will definitely get back to you within 1 to 3 weeks. And, you can definitely see some good recipes and things like that on our Discord server. And shout out to Randy for sure for completing the Barry-Roubaix.
Randy, Dave Benefield for getting sub 6 hours, 30 minutes. For the 100 mile too.
Yeah,
respect.
That's incredible, absolutely incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he gets a cool mug too. So maybe not as cool as my mug, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, right, James. Yeah, right. So got a coalition on there. All right, well, I got to give a shout out to Vexus and to Magma on DRS because that's coming back, and also to Epiphaby. Yeah, a big shout out to them. And James, we're gonna talk after this. Maybe I want to make this happen. This would be really fun. So
yeah, let's see if we get you racing for Distortion. That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. All right, well, with that, everybody, you know what? We'll see you next week, and we'll see you in Watopia.
Hey.